So I'm excited to be here tonight and to talk about property investment and what does it mean to you. And our panelists will give a very interesting perspectives.
A lot of the people here start looking at investing or saving money. Where there's listed shares, I think looking at the yield is a very important key consideration. So the key message here is that particularly property is a long-term play. And that's one way, that's the only way that one really has to look at rather than the short term. One of the key questions that a lot of people have is whether, first of all, they should get into property at all, and if they do, should they own listed shares or should they go and buy their own property?
It's a long-term game. Sometimes you need to work on building up a little bit of a war chest through whatever income stream that you have, either in your personal capacity or in your business capacity. And there comes a point where you say, I'm going to take a little bit of what I have and maybe use it as equity to go and buy an asset and build up my balance sheet. I'm a big proponent of individuals, particularly Black women, understanding that the value of wealth creation lies in building up your personal balance sheet. And that personal balance sheet does lie in property.
One of the enigmas about property is something that I think many of you would have been through, is this whole thing about this location. Because I think ultimately people make decisions on property at an emotional level. We seldom go into an area and make an investment decision without doing two things. One is we go and we kick the tires, as you call it.
Yeah.
And then very seldomly, the second thing is that we wouldn't touch a property unless we do a proper study of the area and the location.
One of the most important factors is actually identifying the asset classes and understanding them first, by virtue of whether someone has got a primary long-term liability with the commercial banks, and then over time, after they've built up their profile with the banks, then they actually acquire for the secondary bond, which allows them to enter the buy-to-let market.
How do you guys think that technology is affecting property and property investment as well? So looking into the future, how do you think technology is playing a role?
It's playing a massive role. An asset class that is not necessarily maybe directly commercial assets, but if you just look at the hospitality industry, Airbnb has totally transformed that industry. So if you are the owner of the Hilton Group or the Marriott Group, you are really competing with a product where it's totally technology driven, and that Airbnb too, no one owns the asset. You're renting space.
So much to unpack when it comes to the issue of property investment, the land issue, and just the education process that needs to take place in order to be able to equip entrepreneurs with that ability to start owning equity, whether it's in that actual bricks and mortar or whether it's in the listed shares.